Well, hey, everybody. This is John. I'm here with our good friend and trustee and discipleship team leader and overall grand poobah of everything, Susan Sawyer. And we just want to talk a little bit about these one-on-one relationships and hopefully get you guys going in a good direction there. So right now we are encouraging, and really for months and years to come, we're encouraging everyone at Christ Church Albany to get involved in what we're calling a one-on-one relationship. And so that's not just like being buddies or friends with someone, although that's good, but we really want this like intentional relationship where you're getting together on a regular basis for the purpose of growth. And I'm super excited about that. I don't know, before we go into other stuff, Susan, why are you so excited about one-on-ones? Why do you think this could be such like a big deal for our church?
Well, I just think one-on-ones are such a great opportunity, not only to get to know somebody else at a really deep level, which in and of itself is a great experience, but also when doing with another person something like studying the Bible or doing a particular book that you want to study together, or addressing an issue that one of you has together, it not only helps the individuals who are in that relationship understand each other better, but it really draws you closer to God, because you realize as a twosome how dependent you become on, looking to God together to solve things and to figure things out about life. It's just an experience that if you've ever had a one-on-one, you'll never want to not be in a one-on-one relationship, because it's that enriching.
Yeah, I love that. That's perfect. So if you're not in a one-on-one relationship, here's how you go about signing up. And so there's kind of really two ways. One is if you have someone in your life that maybe you're good friends, but you know you don't have this level of intentionality, then that might be a great person to ask to become your one-on-one. And that's just like random like personal story, like that's super scary. I'm with you guys in this process, and like I had some one-on-ones in my life, but like I wanted to like kind of go through the whole process again, and I knew I needed actually another one-on-one in my life. So there was a friend of mine, we're actually even in small group together, so like we've like known each other for a while now, and we're doing like the church and Jesus thing together, but like we definitely didn't have that level of relationship. And so I was thinking that I think he might be my guy. And so like I wanted to ask him, and I felt like I was in middle school again. Like I was going to like ask a girl out, and like I sent him an email, and I was like super nervous to send the email, and I was like waiting for him to email back, and like, do you want to be like better friends with me? And we're starting this process. So like that's one way, is you can go through that nervous process of asking a friend to become an even better friend. Or what's another option is that if you really like, I have people in my life, but like I'm not sure any of them are the material that could really be a one-on-one, or maybe you just want something different than your current friend group, then we can help to pair you. And I've done that a couple times this week already, of helping to pair a couple people with one-on-ones. And so that could be an exciting way. But either way, you go, so I have my phone here. You go to the website, christchurchalbany.org, and there's a little site on there for one-on-ones, and there's a form on there, and we would love for you to fill that out. And you can either let us know, hey, here's who I'm going to do a one-on-one with. So if it's someone that a friend that you're going to ask to be, or if you've already started being your one-on-one, then you can let us know that on the form. Or if you're not sure who, then you can let us know that too. But no matter what, if you're going to be in a one-on-one, we want you to fill out the form, and it'll be a huge help to us, so that we can pray for you, so that we can encourage you, and so we can do what we're going to talk about next, is that we want to help to resource you in your one-on-one, because you get together. My new one-on-one friend, we got together, we went on a walk last week, and it's like, okay, this is good. But it's like, now, like, well, what are we going to do? Like, what are we going to actually talk about? Because like we've built these one-on-ones up as like a big deal, and I really think they are going to be awesome, and we're going to like share life, and we're going to, pray for each other. But like, it's tough to like just like jump right in there. You need like something to like build the discussion and some things to like talk about. So we have some resources that we think will be a great way to make sure that you're not just getting together and hanging out, but that you're really using this as a chance to grow and better love Jesus, each other, in the world. And so I asked Susan to help me go through some of these resources, because Susan and I helped to come up with these resources that we think are really great starter resources, and to let you know that if, as you're going through one-on-ones in this year, next year, hopefully for the rest of your life, like Susan said, this will become a normal habit. You might regularly be wanting to know other resources that you and your one-on-one can go through. And I'm definitely a resource for that. And Susan is definitely a resource for that. So I just wanted everyone to make sure that you knew who you could ask if you're looking for any kind of a study, because Susan and I are nerds, and this is what we do, is we just spend like too much time looking at webinars and listening to podcasts and like researching new books and curriculum. And so almost anything that you're wanting to study, parenting, marriage, any kind of, theological issue, any kind of sin issue, any kind of, anything where you're like, hey, it would be great if together we could work on this, learn this, we can probably point you in a direction of what we think would be a good study. But here are some entry level things that you can do. So I think I said I was going to talk about the first one, right? So I did.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, and these are just on the resource tab. So if you want to go to the Christ Church Albany website, you can read through if you want. We're literally just kind of going down in order here. So the first thing, I think this might be one of the easier options, is every Sunday we do a service, and then we pull out some sort of a new biblical truth. And then we think it's best when we really talk about that and apply that. And so we send what we call a next step email every Sunday within a half an hour or so after the service is done. So you can use that. You could use that email. There's 4 to 5 to 6 questions every single week. There's some things that you can pray for. There's action points, which is kind of the big deal. It's like not just, learn it, but to actually do it. And so you could use that email, and you can make your one-on-one that we're going to get together, and we're going to talk through that email, and that could be what you could do for your one-on-one, and that would be a great option. But there's other options like the E100. So what is that, Susan?
The E100 is a great flexible thing you could start on. E100 stands for the Essential 100 Bible Passages. And basically, between the time you meet each, whether it's weekly, we hope it is weekly, you'd only be reading 1 or 2 chapters, which might take you no more than 10 or 20 minutes. But the printouts kind of guide you through a discussion about those passages. And the idea is that it would help anyone who needs kind of a personal challenge to get into a daily reading habit. So it's a great tool, and it wouldn't take you very long to go through it.
Yeah, it's 100 days, right?
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
You could do it that way, or you could do it any way you want it, but it's short.
Yeah. So another option is we have a new class that we're going to be offering a couple times a year. So we actually have one that's in session right now. And so the next one will be offered sometime in the spring, called Emotionally Healthy Spirituality. And it's a class, but it's a class that would be perfect for like a pair to go through together, and you guys could be in the class together, but then you could have a lot of discussion. And I love this class. It's kind of my new favorite thing. And what I really love about it is that it really helps you tackle some of the big personal things in your life, because we want to, of course, we want to be able to go to church, and we want to be able to pray. We want to be able to read our Bible, and we want to be able to do all these other things. But if we don't also tackle the other things in our life, we're not going to be able to really make much progress. And so if we haven't addressed our family history stuff, or if we haven't addressed, how busy we are, and, and how our workaholism, or, I'm just talking about my own stuff at this point, but this is like the stuff that helps you address. And kind of the whole picture of it is that we all are an iceberg. And so there's a part that we show everybody, but then there's this whole other part to us that many times we don't show. And so if you're looking to get like vulnerable with somebody, if you're looking to like really talk about like, here's my past, and here's what's going on, and here's why I do some of the things I do, here's why I say some of the things I say, it'll help bring up a lot of that stuff. And I think it'll help both of you make a lot of traction in your spiritual life.
So John, would people sign up for that as a duo and go through the class and then talk about it later, or could they do it on their own?
I think it would be best to do it in the class dynamic. So yeah, you'd have to, if you wanted to do that, you should wait until our next class comes around. You guys can both sign up for the class. But then in the class, we break people up into little groups. And so you could let who's ever leading that next round say, hey, I'm doing this with my one-on-one, and whenever we get split off, can you split us off into our one-on-one? And that's nice, because then it's not an extra thing. You're not like, oh, now I got this class I'm going to, and I still got to find time to do my one-on-one, and I got to, the class could be your one-on-one time, because it's kind of tailor-made for that. And some of you might be in emotionally healthy spirituality right now, and you're like, oh, who should be my one-on-one? Maybe someone who's already in your breakout in emotionally healthy spirituality could be your one-on-one. So that could be another cool option.
So another one is partners, and this is kind of a workbook that each of you would have, and it was expressly designed for one-on-one relationships, which is what makes it so great. And basically, it covers all of the basic understandings and beliefs of Christianity, but it helps us learn how to apply what we learn in the Bible, apply all of the basic tenets of faith to our daily life. It can either be done in a dedicated 10 weeks, or it can be done as slowly as you want to do each chapter. And we have several people right now in one-on-ones who are using it, and they have found it to be incredibly helpful to each of them, which is interesting because in both of those partnerships of one-on-ones, one person has been a Christian for a long, long time, and another person is a fairly new Christian, but they're both really enjoying it and learning from it. So we would recommend it. It is a little bit more intense than some of the other ones we're going to recommend, in that it does take more time to do the homework from week to week.
Sure. But yeah, so it's for people that are beginning in faith and folks that have been in Christianity. You think it'd be really helpful for both?
Yeah. In fact, I've talked to some people, not in our church, who have done this, to really older Christians, both in age and in terms of how long they have been walking with the Lord. And they did it together and found that it was kind of eye-opening, because there were so many things they'd never really focused on before. So I think anybody would benefit from.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, the next one is called Surprise the World. So this is another book that I love. So some of you, if you've been around for a while, we have talked about the idea of building bridges, and we did a whole series on that a couple of years ago, and it's all 100% stolen from this book. And so if part of what you guys really feel like you need to work on is that, like, hey, we really want to do a better job of reaching our neighbors, and I want to, do a better job of sharing my faith, and, I really want to make a bigger influence on people I work with, whoever it might be. But that's a really scary thing sometimes, to share your faith. This would be a great book for you guys to study and to figure out together how you can change the world together. It's really practical, really easy. And if you listen to the audiobook, it's even better, because he's Australian. He's got an awesome accent. So.
Another one is Rooted, and Rooted also deals with learning how to tell our story. But there are other things that Rooted covers. Some of you did Rooted in a group, but it can also be done one-on-one. It helps you learn practices, rhythms of life, prayer, studying the Bible, serving others, dealing with sin in your life. It covers just all the important points. And there isn't a lot of homework from week to week, but there's a lot of good practice, which is what I like about Rooted. You actually practice the things you talk about. And I think for all of us, part of the way we develop as Christians is to develop better habits, and that happens when we practice. So this is a great study, and it's about 8 weeks, I think. So it would be a good place to start.
Yeah, that's what I'd say about all of these. But yeah, especially Rooted is that we did a campaign a couple of years ago where a lot of people went through Rooted. So some of you might have gone through it before, and that was what I felt out of that, is that it's really, really wonderful, and everyone loved it if they actually did the exercises. If they just got together and talked about it, it's fine. But if you actually went and try to apply the stuff, then it gets pretty intense, because you got to go out and do this big prayer walk. And then you got to come back and actually talk about what, so if you actually do that, that's really powerful. You have to write out your faith story, your testimony, however you want to say it. And then you actually have to share it with someone who's never heard your story before. And if you actually take that step, it really will do an amazing thing in your life and in your one-on-one. But if you just get together and talk about the stuff, then but I think that's true of all the ones we just said. I mean, if you're just doing this as an intellectual exercise, it's not going to be all that great. If you actually try to apply and live this stuff out, that's where the magic is.
Right.
So that's the resources that we are recommending right away. And so if you're looking to start a one-on-one, which we hope you are, one of those would be wonderful to start with in the first, or do one of those and then do another one, or that should be able to get you through at least a year or so. But feel free to reach out to either myself or Susan, and we'll give you the contact information for that. We would love to help to guide you, point you if you're wondering exactly which one, or maybe in the process of talking, we'll really think, hey, maybe there's an even different, better study for you to start off your one-on-one, and we'd be happy to point that out as well. But I think there's so many good studies in the world, and one of the guys on our discipleship team, John Shigatano, is a pretty famous now for saying, like, basically you can almost study, as long as like Jesus is in it and the Bible is in it, like it can almost be whatever, as long as you're doing it. So, I mean, just the idea of you getting together with another person, if it's regular, if you're humble, if you're praying, and if you're, no matter what, I think growth will come. But we think especially if you do one of these, you'll experience a lot of growth. Anything else you want to add before we let people sign off for now?
You said it well, John.
All right. I'm excited for this and hope you guys all sign up. So see you soon.